Prabhu joining. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, Mr. Prabhu is here. Okay, take it away, Mr. Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Are you able to hear me?
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. All Krishna. Sorry, a couple of minutes late. Was getting ready.
Yeah, you can go ahead, Prabhu.
Okay. Thank you all, dear devotees, for joining today. Very auspicious satsang, very auspicious Srimad Bhagavatam class. We were going through the Gita Jayanti festival, and this is the right time to discuss more about or go deeper into the understanding of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. There is nothing but the words which emanate from the mouth of Supreme Personality of Godhead. We know that when we take the water of Ganges, it purifies just by touching our feet. Because of that water is touched by the lotus feet of Krishna, which purifies us. Similarly, this transcendental, these words which emanate from the mouth of Supreme Lord has more potency than even the Ganges water. And one can completely attain the Supreme just by hearing Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So this is the purpose. And thank you all so much for joining today. Let's begin. First of all, let me also offer my humble obeisance to all the assembled Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. Thank you so much. Also, I would extend my gratitude to Krishnananda Prabhu for giving me this opportunity to talk from the Bhagavad Gita. Thank you so much, Krishnananda Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kuncha Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kuncha Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kuncha Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Jai Jai Shri Radha Shyama Sundar Ji ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. So the topic is today. So we are going to see the instructions of the Supreme Lord through the chapter Bhagavad Gita chapter from 4th chapter to 6th chapter. We'll summarize the instructions and that what we can learn from these chapters. So chapter 4 is considered as the transcendental knowledge, or we can call it as Jnana Yoga, or the 5th chapter Karma Sannyasa Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness. Then the 6th chapter is Dhyana Yoga. So here in the 4th chapter, Krishna is revealing that Jnana Yoga is a transcendental knowledge, and this is also a continuation from the 3rd chapter. We will come to that point, how this is a continuation from 3rd chapter. Then it's also in the 3rd chapter, which is revealed senses, mind, and intelligence covered by the lust. And so the 4th chapter, in order to eradicate that, the lust, one has to understand the transcendental knowledge. That's a continuation, that's a connection between 3rd chapter and the 4th chapter. Only by the transcendental knowledge one can curb the lust. Krishna revealing transcendental knowledge so that we all can eradicate the worst enemy, the lust, greed, and anger. So it's quite nice, quite wonderful. These chapters, 4th chapter, 5th chapter, and 6th chapter, which reveals pretty much the essence of also the Bhagavad Gita, or that come to a conclusion of concluding or culminating with that aspect of the Bhakti Yoga. So here we can see that also in this, we can see that what is action and what is inaction. So this is where the misunderstanding, this is where the ignorance of all, and what we're supposed to do and what we are not supposed to do. We mix up everything. We mix up everything in whatever it is, that it's all upside down. So this is what Krishna is revealing to us, especially through Arjuna, that what we actually understand, what we're supposed to understand, what we not to engage, what action and what inaction is, what we're supposed to do and what we're not supposed to do. So it reveals into this, these 3 chapters. So we'll begin with these wonderful verses. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudiraye. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavada sevaya bhagavadi uttama sloke bhaktir bhavadi naishtigim. Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th chapter, the first 2 verse. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha imam vivasvade yogam proktavanaham avyayam vivaswan manve praha manur ishwakve bravid. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: the personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna said, I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to sun god Vivaswan, and Vivaswan instructed it to Manu, the father of mankind, and Manu in turn instructed to Ikshvaku. So as we can see that there is the connection between the 3rd chapter and the 4th chapter. So the 3rd chapter, we can see that the culminating Arjuna is asking this question, that even though we understand this, why people are engaged in the sinful activities. So then Krishna is revealing that, oh Arjuna, why people are engaging in the sinful activity, because of the lust. The lust, the intelligence, the mind, and the senses are covered by the lust. Because of that, like the mirror is covered with the dust, or the womb is the embryo, and womb is covered with the embryo, and the smoke, the fire is covered with the smoke. Similarly, our consciousness is covered with the lust. The lust is the root cause of our sinful activities. So by only the transcendental knowledge, one can curb the lust. So that's a connection. So then we come to that understanding. Arjuna's question, how Krishna could instruct this to sun god. So this is where this verse, Imam Vivaswan Yogam Proktavanagam Avyayam. So Krishna instructed this transcendental knowledge to sun god Vivaswan. Vivaswan instructed this Manu. Manu instructed to Ikshvaku. So this is very, interesting to understand this. And Arjuna also little hearing this, have a doubt that how that Krishna this transcendental knowledge to sun god Vivaswan. So Vivaswan is mentioned that almost like 305 million years ago, and then Krishna instructed this transcendental knowledge. So then we will see that what is that transcendental knowledge exactly mean by it, or Jnana Yoga, the Jnana. So here Arjuna's question is how Krishna could instruct this to Arjuna, the sun god Vivaswan. And then almost 120 million years ago, then Manu instructed to the Ikshvaku. So there is a time period which Srila Prabhupada put in the purport. It's very interesting to understand. So then this question Arjuna raised that, oh Krishna, then both you are and I born here, and how could you remember all this? How could you tell all this to Vivaswan? So then Krishna was revealing that. So Krishna revealing this, that, oh Arjuna, both I and you are born, I could remember all of those, and then but you cannot, because you are conditioned by this material nature. So this is where this transcendental knowledge is come into place. That we are covered by this material energy, but Krishna is not. When we are covered by the material energy, the material consciousness, or it covers our transcendental knowledge by the lust, greed, and anger, then we cannot remember anything. But Krishna is completely pure. So that's what is Krishna is telling, that this, oh Arjuna, I could remember all of them. I could remember all of them, so that I instructed this to. So then now, in order to reveal Krishna's identity, that Supreme Personality of Godhead, this is the first time in the Bhagavad Gita Krishna is revealing his original identity to the Arjuna. So Krishna is revealing in such a way that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and I could remember all of them. I pervaded in everything, and I instructed this to sun god Vivaswan. And then Krishna was again mentioning that I would now instruct this knowledge to you, Arjuna, because of you are my dear friend and a devotee. So then this also raises that a very wonderful understanding, that who can understand this transcendental knowledge, or who is eligible to understand this transcendental knowledge? Who is eligible? One who is a devotee of the Lord. So if one becomes devotee of the knowledge, Lord, then he can understand this transcendental knowledge, or this transcendental knowledge is also confidential knowledge. That's why a quality of a person to understand transcendental knowledge is that if he becomes devotee, if he is devoted to the Supreme, he is eligible to understand the transcendental knowledge, or this confidential knowledge. So this is not meant for everybody. This is not that meant for each and every person, because of those who are demoniac. And instead of devotee, they may not be eligible, they may not understand this transcendental knowledge. So then also here mentioning that Krishna is ascertaining that he has a relationship with us. Why? That's the one reason. That's why Krishna is revealing this to Arjuna, because of Arjuna is very dear friend to Krishna. There is a relationship. Also Arjuna is a devotee of Krishna. There is a relationship, that he has a transcendental relationship with Krishna, so that Krishna is revealing because of Krishna is dear to his devotee. So this is the context of it. Krishna is revealing this transcendental knowledge to Arjuna. Then Krishna revealing his transcendental identity, divine identity to the Arjuna, so that Arjuna could completely convince that, completely understand that this is not that just simply a talk. This is the most confidential knowledge, so that Arjuna could completely imbibe that in his life. So then Krishna then further start to reveal his identity to Arjuna in such a way that Krishna says, "Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam sujami." Yada yada hi dharmasya. So Arjuna, that I would descend in this world whenever and wherever there is a decline of religious principles of dharma. So this is also the first key, the understanding that we should have. The transcendental knowledge begins with the dharma. Dharma means that the religious principles, the code of conducts, that how one should live in this world. So we can see that throughout this section of Bhagavad Gita, that Krishna is revealing this, and it bases on the point of dharma. Dharma means the religion. So then the Bhagavad explains that dharmastu sakshat bhagavat pranida. If the dharma is not there, dharma vihini pashubhi saman. If the dharma is not there, then what happens? He is also as equal as an animal. So in order to re-establish the religious principle of dharma, oh Arjuna, I descend in this world millennium after millennium after. So yada yada hi dharmasya glanir, whenever there is a decline of religious principles. So the first and the foremost, Krishna is revealing to Arjuna that the dharma is the most important that everybody has to follow. So that Sri Krishna also says that dharmastu sakshal bhagavat pranidam sarva dharman parityaja mam egam sharanam vraja. Because of this is the key of that, the transcendental knowledge, that the confidential knowledge, and dharma has to perform to whom? That dharmastu sakshal bhagavat, in order to please Krishna, in order to satisfy Krishna, that one has to perform this. It's not that our own selfish or our own mental concoctions that we execute this dharma. Dharma is meant to please the Krishna. So whenever and wherever there's a decline, also Krishna appears. So this is the instruction that Krishna is giving. So we have it to follow. Otherwise, what happened? The next verse, Krishna says that paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya dushkrata. Krishna says that I would eliminate the miscreants, those who are non-devotees, miscreant, asuric forms, asuric, the characteristics, and I would, eradicate, I would, annihilate the miscreants. And then paritranaya sadhuna, I would protect, I would save the pious, I would save the devotees. So Krishna's revealing his identity, that what he does in this world. But when he comes to this world, what is his sole purpose? His sole purpose is nothing but the devotees, in order to protect his devotees. That's the first and the foremost. And also in order to fulfill the desires of his devotees. And that's the first and the foremost. So who can come? Who gets the mercy, such a mercy of Krishna? Because of one who has this knowledge, one who engages in the path of Krishna, one who engages in the path of knowledge. So one who attains this, he gets the mercy of the Lord. So then Krishna reveals his identity like this, and then further Krishna says that one who knows my transcendental appearance and activities. And janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vedi tattvadaha tektva deham punar janma naidi mamedisa. So Krishna is again and again telling this Arjuna, this is the knowledge that one has to have. Then my appearance activities are very divine and transcendental. So Krishna is revealing to Arjuna that my appearance, that I am the one who has to be known, in appearance and activities. And one who hears this, one who knows this, and never comes back into this material world, that he comes to me. So this transcendental knowledge Krishna is revealing, because of that one has to dedicate himself to the Supreme Lord. Then further Krishna says that, then Veda Raga Bhaya Krodha Manmanamam Ubasruda. So what is actually causing from us to come to this understanding of this transcendental knowledge? Because of we are so much attached to it. We are attachment. Veda Raga. Raga means attachment, Krodha, anger, and bhaya, the fear. That's exactly the same. The anger, lust, greed, and anger. All this is actually covers. This is actually covers our transcendental knowledge. So then because of that, we so much attached to this material world, and we are so much then fall into this, the demoniac activities. But Krishna says that one who freed from the Veda Raga Bhaya, one who freed from the attachment, the fear, and then the krodha, the anger, then what happens? He can slowly come into this path of understanding, this confidential knowledge, path of this devotional service. So it's very important. So that leads to that one from, or devoid of, one free from, one getting understanding that, because of when he is so much attached to this, material attachment, or so much of fearful, because of material attachment, one gets so much of fear. And when his senses are not fulfilled, the desires are not fulfilled, he is completely come with this anger, the krodha. So all these are there. Everything is come into this picture. So Krishna is clearly says that. So one who frees from it, so he is eligible. He can come to this proper understanding, this transcendental knowledge. Then quality of a person, and so like this, the one who has this quality, that free from fear, free from attachment, free from krodha, on that he can come to this he is eligible to understand this transcendental knowledge. Then Krishna further progress and then further says that men of less intelligent worship in order to has the fruitive act. So Krishna then further elaborating that who is this attachment, who has this attachment, who has this fear, and who has this krodha, who gets into this anger. So further elaborating on that point, but the people those who are so much attached to their fruitive activities, and they goes to the demigods and they worship the demigods, then they entangle in this material world. Then also there is, Krishna says that the every activity in this world is attached to the modes of material nature, and the modes of material nature is also associated with certain kinds of, so everybody is working in this world, so entangled in this world, so that they would be devoid of all this transcendental knowledge if we don't come into this free from the attachment, the fear, and the krodha, the lust, all those things. So this is a complete package of that, how one is actually engaged, away from this, going away from the transcendental knowledge. Then Krishna further explains into that the action and inaction. So this is very important. This is the core of these three chapters, dear devotees, in the Karma Yoga section of the first is, we can divide that Karma Yoga is there, Dhyana Yoga is there, then there is a Dhyana Yoga, or generally Ashtanga Yoga. So then it comes to the Bhakti Yoga. So we can say that the first section, first chapter to sixth chapter is completely that divided into this, so that the core of it actually one has to understand what to do and what not to do. That's what it is mentioned: action and inaction. So in the fourth chapter, Krishna reveals this one, the aspect of the action and the inaction. So Krishna says again in the fourth chapter, 18th verse, Karmani agarmaya pashet agarmani cha karmaya sa buddhiman manushesya yukta Krishna karmakrit. One who sees in inaction in action and action in inaction is intelligent among men, and he is in the transcendental position, although engaged in all sorts of activities. The devotees, this is the key that we have to understand all the time. So sometimes we don't know, as mentioned, that we don't know what we are really doing. We do so many things. We get into there, we go into that, we do that. I like whatever I like, I do. Then we don't know also whether it is sinful, whether it is vikarma, whether it is really supposed to do, and all these sorts of activities do every day. And then mostly that is to satisfy our senses, to satisfy our sensual desires, and then we engage in all sorts of things. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that in the 16th chapter, Asha pasyastadir badir kama krodha parayana ihande kama bhogartham anyayartena sanchayan. Asha pasyastadir. In order to fulfill the desires of our pasha is considered as, all the desires are considered as a rope which binds us. Asha pasyastadir badir kama krodha parayana. Again, kama, krodha, fear, lust, all these are there. And this is, and most of our activities centered around all these lust and the desires of the material desires. Everything is so. Then this, because of this one, and we do not know that what is action, what we are supposed to do, and what is not supposed to do. So here Krishna is saying that again. So one who sees inaction in action. So this is where the key. Then how do we see it? And how do we understand that? That we will see. So one who sees inaction in action and action in action is intelligent among men. So Krishna is saying that intelligent, but those who are entangled in fruitive activities, those goes to the demigods and worship them so that they can fulfill all this their desires, they are less intelligent because of they do not know what is the ultimate knowledge or what is the ultimate purpose. So then they entangle, and then they engage in all sorts of activities without knowing this. So then further Krishna says that. So how one can come to this and understand this action in inaction and inaction in action. That means when we engages in any kinds of activities, that Krishna is revealing that very and instructing to Arjuna that if every endeavor is devoid of desire for sense gratification. So suppose we are doing some activities, some karma, some activities that, understanding that, okay, I have to go to the office and work. But when we understand this, yes, I have to go to the office because of I have family, I have a certain responsibility to do. So all I have to do is actually not so much entangled, like we know that the pavarga and apavarga. So the Bhagavatam proclaims is very, very, glorifying this part of apavarga. So pavarga and apavarga, the scriptures reveals this word. This pavarga means there is a pa, ibha, ba, ibha, ma. That means these letters, these consonants of pa, pa, ibha, ba, ibha, ma. So there is 5 letters. It starts with this. That's called pavarga. So our acharyas mentioned that this pavarga, one who is completely engaged in this, material activities, sensual activities. So they are in this pavarga stage. Pa means, always there is a parajaya, means we, always there is a sense of that, I would defeat someone, I would defeat the competition, all this. Then it comes to the bha is fena. Fena means the form which comes out from there is donkeys, when they do the hard work, hard labor, the forms comes out from their mouth and they completely tired of, and then they completely the lethargic and come down in such a state that the form even comes from their mouth. So this is what is the activities, is active material karma, the material activities that one does is in this world because of their understanding is that okay, I have to work like this, then only that I can enjoy. So this is creates the bondage, this creates an entanglement in this material world, this creates krodha, this creates all the fear, this creates all sort of impurities in our heart. So then it covers that the real knowledge that then it creates, it's takes us away from our real identity. So as Krishna says like this, so this bhaya, the fena, the parajaya, the defeat, then the bha, the fena, then there is ba, that means the bhaya. Bhaya means always the fear. Then ibha means that bandhana. There is bandhana is there. There is the bondage, the material bondage, and ma, the mrityu. So this is that typical common man does in this world. So they come into that final point of that mrityu. Then comes to the mrityu that they die, they death. Death in this, that means they also fall down into the animal consciousness, animal animal world. So they fall down. That's called mrityu. That's called death, maran. The death means maran or mrityu. That's my Martya, Murtyu is actually this world is for likes that. This world is designed for such a way that those who are not understanding this transcendental knowledge, then they all can fall down into this Murtyu. That means in Naraka or in the this animal world. So that's where Krishna is revealing here to Arjuna in such a way that we can free from it. We can free from it. That means when there is action in inaction. That means if you are not attached to the our activities and free of the material desire, that is considered as we are in the inaction in action. Even though we do it, but we are not entangled with it. So we understand that this is the activity which I am supposed to do for the pleasure of the Krishna. That I'm bound to do it. There is no exception. I am bound to do it. So everybody has to work in this world. There is no free. Nobody can free from their activities. Everybody has to work. Krishna says so that this is the way that one can also see that they're in action in action. So such people, those who are doing in action, abandon the attachment for all the results of his activities. So the devotees is so important. The karma yoga, pretty much people say that the karma yoga is the key of this Bhagavad Gita, but they are not understanding the key concepts of it. Because of karma yoga culminates to that the one ultimate point is that every activity should be meant for the supreme personality of Godhead, as Krishna says into the seventh chapter. Tasmat karmeshu kaleshu mamanusmere yuddhaja mai arpida mano buddhir. Mai arpida mano buddhir, when you surrender your mind and the intelligence to me, then you do the activities, then that is what is the action or inaction in action. So that is completely meant to please the Krishna. That is complete in the code of Dharma. So like this, Krishna is revealing to Arjuna, although engaged in all activities, no fruitive action. So that we are not supposed to be do, but we are not desirous for the fruits of that activity. We are supposed to do, we are bound to do our activities no matter what. Whatever the service we have, whatever the duty that we have, whatever the responsibilities we have, then we have to do. In the last Bhakti one devotee came and asked this one question. Prabhuji, that I have, some people, when I do some kind of work, Some people come here and there, and somebody play politics and those things. What to do? So how do we understand that this is my duty? So I mentioned that, Prabhuji, that when we do our activities, there are certain activities which are assigned to us. Like for an example, in a corporate world, you are working, you have position, you have a title, you may be a project leader, you are a project manager, but you have a title to do. So this is assigned by the Lord. This is assigned by the authorities. So this is your duty. So when you do this duty 100% without attachment, okay, what is going to happen? What the fruits of activities that I am going to get it. But your duty is that to focus on the work. Then everything else is then focus, and that understanding that you're doing this for Krishna, because of Krishna gave this to me. So then it will happen. Then there is no attachment for it. There is no bondage for it. And if you are not looking for that, I'm going to get that promotion the next year, that year, but rather than just do that duty as means to please the Supreme Lord, this way that we are free from that entanglement. That's this way one will come to that in action. So then further Krishna says that how do we see that? Acts with mind and intelligence perfectly controlled. This is very important. So many times what happens? Our mind goes away. Even if you do something, then our mind, uncontrolled mind, which takes us away from all this, the core principles of that our work, core principles of our activities. Rather, we swayed away in the boat of this uncontrolled mind, and then the attachment for the senses, so that I can enjoy, I can go here, I can go to where is the beach and all these places to enjoy. I can go to the various luxurious hotel, Hawaii beach, I can go to this and there, I can enjoy. So this is what is, so this both the senses and the mind is all working together just to satisfy our material sensual desires. This is our core problem. So we don't understand that all these senses, all this happiness and distress arises from the sense perception. Krishna reveals this one in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Matras parshastu kaundeya chidoshna sukha dukkhada akama payino anityastamsi dakshusa bharada. The happiness and the distress come into this our life as like a winter and summer comes. Like it is a winter that we are feeling so cold, and in the summer we feel so much of hot, and it comes. And how it is comes, it's like it arises, all this happiness and distress, this dualities arises from these sense perceptions. So one should know how to tolerate. So this is what is Krishna says, that one who knows, one who understands this, how to control his mind and the senses, then he is doing this in action, even though he does it. And he understands that this is my duty, this is I am doing for the Lord, this is my duty to do. So this way that he is always doing in action. He's even though perform his duty, but he's not entangled, he's not bonded with it. So, and also, as is mentioned, that how one can come, this is the various verses Krishna reveals in the fourth chapter. And Krishna says, act only for bare necessities of the life. As mentioned, that this pena, people are so much engrossed, entangled that day and night, and just conscious of people. Instead of doing one job, they do 3 or 4 jobs every day. They don't even have a time for anything. As mentioned, that they don't even have a time to eat the food, their prasadam, even with the peace. They cannot even eat. While driving, they are eating. While walking, they are eating. While walking, running, they are drinking. What kind of life it is? What kind of knowledge it is? What kind of consciousness it is? Because of it's completely tied our everything, body, mind, senses, intelligence, everything tied to that one thing, that the sense gratification, so that I get money, I get fame, name, I get so much and so much. And then what happens? Eventually the death comes and takes away everything. And Mrityu sarvas harischaham. Mrityu takes us everything, and then this person completely fall into this pool of this material miseries and again, and he attains this Mrityu, that death, and this get into the Naraga, the hellish planets. So, like this way, when Krishna reveals this one, and who is in action, that one who free from the duality and envy, steady in the both success and the failure, and never entangled, although he performs all kinds of activities. So he is doing this in action, and action in inaction. This is what is Krishna reveals that. So one has to free from it. Then we are actually in the real understanding. So then we are actually in the knowledge that which one is eligible to attain this transcendental knowledge. So transcendental knowledge means that understanding, first of all, of what is our body, what is our mind, what is our senses, what is our intelligence, and how this we can function with it. and how we can utilize with this, and not utilize all these for our sensual, our own selfish purposes. Then when you do that one, that's where that we are completely goes and sway away into this material pool of miseries. So this is what is Krishna is also mentioning that, and mentioning to Arjuna, that how one can always see that action and inaction in this way. So then such people, such such knowledge, one has such knowledge, then what happens? He merges into transcendence or Krishna consciousness. That's called true bhakti yoga. So this first section of this, or this karma yoga section of it, or jnana yoga section of it, nothing but to come to that one understanding, that the transcendental knowledge, or the transcendence, or that one who can completely surrender to Krishna, and that understanding that all this is leads or means for to please the Krishna. So he comes to that. He merges this into the transcendent. So that means he is free from the modes of material nature. As Srila Prabhupada says that we are all bound by these modes of material nature, the sorts of various sorts of activities in the modes of ignorance, mode of passion, mode of goodness. And then we are, repeatedly, life after life, charvida charvanam, puna charvida charvanam, chewing the chewed. This is what is going on because of our ignorance. Sri Rupa Goswami says the root cause of our suffering in this world is nothing but ignorance. So Krishna is eradicating that ignorance. So this is the most important aspect that one, especially we are grihasthas, is the most important, that how to perform our duty, how to perform our activities, how to perform our daily activities in such a way that is everything is dovetailed to the service of the Krishna. Everything can be dovetailed, nothing that which can free from that our activities which cannot connect to Krishna. Everything can be connected to Krishna, all our activities, no matter what. So this is the conscious. So Krishna is revealing this to Arjuna, that when one is free from all this and understanding what is an action, what is an inaction, then one can completely come to that transcendence, and then that is called one who situates in Krishna consciousness. So then we can see that there is jnana yoga, there is karma yoga, there is ashtanga. All this can be dovetail, all can be lead to that one point of bring to that the bhakti yoga. That means to everything, all activities in the service of the Supreme Lord. So then further Krishna says in the first chapter that sacrifices. So Krishna also gives the tools and the technique. So it's very important, dear devotees, the tools and the technique. And Krishna is detailing everything, that how one can come to that stage, come to that transcendence. So Krishna says that one has to sacrifice the senses in the mind. That means with the control of the mind, one has to sacrifice, one has to control the urges of the senses. This also sacrifices. So different yagyas or the sacrifices, and Krishna revealing to Arjuna, instructing to Arjuna that one has to control his senses, one has to curb his urges of his senses at the control. So that senses has to sacrifice in the mind. This is called the indriyastapa. Indriyastapa. Then sacrifice the mind in the self. Sacrifice the mind. Then one has to control the mind. So when one doesn't have the control of the mind and the senses, he engages all these sorts of activities. He thinks that, okay, I'm doing for myself. I will engage all the results of it. I will relish all the results of it. I would get all the results, all the fruits. So I would enjoy. So this is our day-to-day activity. So then we entangle and we incur all those kinds of sinful activities and sinful reactions. All this goes through. And that's why we are suffering in this material world. So unless and until we understand this, dear devotees, that senses are there to not to completely uncontrolled. We know that the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna and the cover picture of it, there are, 4 horses are tied to the chariot. So Krishna is in the chariot as a charioteer, and Arjuna is standing there, and Krishna is holding these reins, that the ropes, and the ropes are tied to all these horses there. And these horses are nothing but various our indriyas. The horses represents our indriyas, the eyes and the all those our indriyas, the ears and all. So what happens with the mind? It is connected with the mind. It is connected. All indriyas, all the senses are connected with this mind. So then the reins are there with the mind. So one has to have the hold of it. And how that can control our indriyas, our senses, and the mind with the reins, and which the ropes which are connected to the indriyas, then who is holding this? So we have to tie our mind to Krishna. That's what is the Krishna is there seated as a super soul in the child. So we have to connect ourselves to that super soul, that supreme Lord, and the charioteer that's our individual soul. So we have to connect everything to Krishna. So that's what it is. The meant for it all like this. So the sacrifices, so mind, the indriyas, the senses, and the intelligence all has to have sacrifice in the sense such a way that the senses has to sacrifice to the mind has to sacrifice to the self, the spirit, soul. Then what happened? Then should perform in a knowledge in such a way that this is all. What is that knowledge? What is transcendental knowledge? That dharmastu sakshal bhagavat pranidam. All our duty, all our activities meant to please that the supreme personality of Godhead. So in this way, even though he does these activities, he is not bound with any kinds of reactions. So this is very important to understand this way that we can free from all our material bondage. So is Krishna says that most sinful can cross over if situated in the boat of transcendental knowledge. So if one even knows this is the one who knows this, that all this creates the bondage, but one who knows that my activity, my duty, my responsibility, all our activities are meant to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so that I should not be entangled, I should not be have the bondage with the fruits of my activities, how that activity, so all that I can. So if he free from all this, then he can also cross over this sinful, the reactions of this material world. This way that if one who this knows, at least the transcendental knowledge, one who knows, he can free from this material bondage. So Krishna is revealing in such a way that to Arjuna, so that Krishna is revealing this transcendental knowledge in such a way that he can come to that the transcendence. He can free from his material entanglement. Then we come to that the chapter Krishna consciousness, the Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga means this is where, from the beginning, third chapter is karma. So then we come to the karma and the karma kanda section, right? So these are various aspects of it, the karma, the activities, the karma kanda, the fruitive activities that we go to the demigods, we worship them so that we get some kinds of results, the desired results that we get from them. And then we entangle here in this material world. So all this karma which creates the bondage in this world, no matter what. But if you are free, if you are gets that the transcendental knowledge and understanding, so that we can perform all our activities for that, the connect to that the Supreme Lord. This is called Karma Yoga. That's the fifth chapter. Then Srila Prabhupada mentioned that the action, in Krishna consciousness, every activity that we connect to Krishna, that's where Krishna says that in the Karoshya Dasnasiyas Jugosi Dadasiyas as Tapasyasi Kaudeya Tat Purushamadharpanam, whatever you do, whatever the activities you perform, whatever the charity you give away, all that as an sacrifice, as an offering to me, thus you will be free from this material bondage. So as Krishna says, this is action in Krishna consciousness. This is called Karma Yoga. So Karma Yoga means all our activities connect to the Supreme Lord. This way that we free from the material bondage. So here, then further Krishna then come to that Arjuna, and Krishna comes to this fifth chapter, which is action in Krishna consciousness. And Arjuna raised this question. So naturally, this comes to that. So in this sense, Krishna, mentioned that, that we have to completely renounce or completely dedicate ourselves all activities and to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. So Arjuna raised this question. So Arjuna's question is this one: work or renounce the work is the better or the most purifying. So then Krishna is answering this one. Work in devotional service is better than renunciation of the work. So work in devotional service, even though simply simply renouncing the work, it will not help us. Because I'm because of all this, now I am not going to get anything. Okay, let me don't do anything. And let me go sit somewhere else and go there and I don't do anything. So I don't need to do anything. So I'm renouncing all the work so that I can simply sit. It will not work. Even though renouncing the work, and even if completely engaged in the activities of the Krishna, but it will not help us, it will not work. But that will not, help us in progress in bhakti. So here Krishna says that work in devotion is better than of renouncing all the work. So work in devotion, that's why, in the Srila Rupa Goswami mentioned that in the nectar of, devotion, anasakti savashayan, yadarham upayinchade, nirbande, Krishna sambande, yukta vairagya muchade. We have to properly utilize everything in the service of Krishna. This is called nirbande Krishna sambande. This is called Krishna karma. So whatever the activities you perform, as mentioned, whatever we do, that if we are doing this as an offering to Krishna, as a sacrifice to Krishna, as to please Krishna, then this is called work and devotion. This is called karma yoga. That means every activity which we have, then we connect to Krishna, we offer to Krishna. This way, we will be completely free from the bondage so that we can quickly progress in devotional. So Krishna says that one who walks in devotion, who is pure soul, who controls his mind and the senses are dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. Even though he works does not entangle him. This is the inaction in action. So that even though he works, he does not actually working, but he is completely, dedicate everything for the to please the Krishna. He is working devotion. This is called karma. So he understand that. He understands now the transcendental knowledge. He has this knowledge how to perform, how to execute his activity. So when he knows this, how to execute his activity, then he completely dedicate himself, engage all his activities, all the results of his activities, everything with Krishna. That means, Krishna, I'm doing this for you. I am, going to the office for you so that I get money and I will engage in your service. I invite the people into my home so that I can serve them. So that somehow or other, I get some so that I will dedicate everything for the Krishna service. So this is called karma yoga. This is in action in Krishna consciousness. This is also that the culmination of the transcendental knowledge. When you have the proper knowledge, then we completely dedicate ourselves for in the service of the Supreme Lord. So Krishna further says that a person in the divine consciousness, although engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving about, sleeping around, and breathing, always know within himself that he actually does nothing at all. So this is the transcendental knowledge culmination that the devotees that we are all here in this material world as a spirit soul. So we are here. So the spirit soul is completely pure, and spirit soul is covered with all this mind, intelligence, and body and the senses. All this there. So many things happening. And then also Krishna says that there is a three doers of it. There is a spirit soul, there is a super soul, then there is a material nature. So all that material nature, the super soul and the spirit soul, all are involved in our all activities. Not that we are doing it alone. That I am the sole proprietor of it. So that's why Krishna is revealing to Arjuna that that's free from the sense of proprietorship. And then when he does that one, and when he doing and seeing, hearing, everything and breathing, all that is when it is, he is actually free from all this. This is as per because of the material nature, that's the modes of the material nature. And then it creates it. And prakriti kriyamanani gunakarmani sarvasha hangara vimudatma kartaramidi manyade. As he is because of the false ego, because of the ahangara, because of the false ego, he thinks that he is doing everything. But actually, prakriti kriyamanani, because of the modes of material nature that involves in so many activities. So one who knows this and then understanding this, so then he is completely free from it, and then he is free from his bondage. Understanding this actually that because of my modes of material nature, I am involved, I am engaged, so that I have to be free from it. So this way, Krishna is revealing this transcendental knowledge and how one should act in Krishna consciousness, and how one should situate completely in the Krishna consciousness so that he is free from all this material bondage or the reactions of karma, that is, all the sinful act, all the sins, all the papa. Then Krishna further says that one who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action. So, dear devotees, most of the time we are whatever the activities we perform, we are affected by the sinful reactions. So that's why people are suffering in this world. Nobody is free from the suffering. Dukkale mashashvadam. This world is completely in the dukkha, the full of sorrows and the pain. And ashashvadam is temporary. Why we are here suffering in this world? Because of our sinful reactions. And why that sinful reaction? Because of we don't know what to do, and then we completely engage our body, mind, and senses for all sinful activities in this world. And what is that sinful activities? Which is the activities which is separate from the Lordships. That's in the first hand that we are here because we are separate from the Lord. We have the free will, we have the desire separate from the Lord. So because of that, we are here in this world. Then what happens? We entangled and sinful reactions and repeated life after life after life. We suffer in this material world. So if we know that his duty without attachment, without this bondage, that I have to do, this is my duty. That's why Krishna also revealed and mentioning all this, that I created this society, Chadur Varne Maya Srishtam Gunakarma Bhagasham, Vidikartaram avyayam, tatkartaram abhimam, vidikartaram avyayam. That means the Krishna, created us for the guna and the activities, guna and karma, guna karma, but their qualities, and how one can come to that quality because of his mind, intelligence, and body senses engage in various kinds of activities. That's why there is karma, vikarma, and then in the fifth chapter, which is revealed that the karma and the vikarma and the akarma, or the karma, which is that the activities which we do, and then the vikarma, the forbidden activities, and then akarma, that means there is no karma, there is no sinful reactions, there is no bondage. So this chapter is mainly revealing that the action Krishna consciousness free from the vikarma, the forbidden activities, so that we won't engage, we won't incur in the sinful reactions. So then how one can come to that? Then one's intelligence, mind, faith, and refuge all are fixed in the Supreme. So this is the key. This is the transcendental understanding one should have. His mind should, his intelligence should, their senses should completely surrender unto Krishna. So that's why Adho Shraddha Sadhu Sangha Bhajana Kriya. So we have the faith. One has to that unflinching faith at the lotus feet of Krishna, that Supreme Lord. And then his mind and intelligence, his senses, all will be gradually purified. That's why Bhajana Kriya, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti is all this will be purified. He will situate in pure consciousness. So he cleans up. So this one, then what happens eventually that the fire, when the fire is covered by the smoke, but when we again fan it, then what happens? The smoke is gone. Then we can see that the pure fire. Similarly, when we engage, understanding this, all myself or whatever it is, I am not independent in this world. I'm part of that Supreme Lord. My duty is to please that Supreme Lord. As it's mentioned that, the Jivera Surupa Hoye Krishna Nityadas, our original identity is nothing but to engage in the loving devotional service, to have that eternal relationship with the Lord, connect our all activities with that Supreme, and relate with all our activities that Supreme. All the whatever we do, relate with that Supreme. So this way we are free from. That's why the Jivera Swarup, this is our original identity, original Swarup. So this way, Krishna is revealing to Arjuna that one can free from all the material bondage and sinful reactions. So then Krishna also revealing the Samadarshana principle. So what is the Samadarshana principle? Those who come to that consciousness, those who are free from this, control his mind, senses, intelligence, everything, then he come to that real understanding, that transcendental knowledge, that every living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. They are belongs to the Supreme Lord. And such a person, and how one can come to that stage of humbleness, humility. So the Krishna is revealing that in such a way that then one can come to that the transcendental qualities or devotional qualities. There are 26 devotional qualities mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. So that 26 devotional qualities, and one comes to that the devotional qualities and Vaishnava qualities. So in that Vaishnava qualities, by humility, by humble, virtue, Vidya Vinaya Sambanne, Brahmane, Gevihastine, Sunichaiva Sopegacha Pandita Samadarshana. So he sees everybody equal, and he sees everybody that in there the Supreme Lord is there, and everybody is part of and Supreme Personality of Godhead. So then raises a question that one should see in such a way that an elephant comes to you, and you see that this is a spirit soul, this is Supreme Lord, and somebody else comes to you. So we have to also utilize everything in a properly in a such a fashion that even though Chandala is there, the dog eater, yes, all belongs to, but their activities are the different. So that's where the yogis, the spiritual masters, and the devotees come into the picture, so that even though they see everybody equally and see that, okay, this person needs some transcendental knowledge. So then they impart this knowledge so that they can come to that level. Samadarshana doesn't mean that, okay, I just see everybody equally, I don't do anything, oh, everybody is equal. So in that way, no, it's not that sense. Samadarshana concept is that everybody is part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead because of their place, time, and circumstances. They fall down because of their guna and the karma, the activities. So one has to see that where to apply this transcendental knowledge and impart the transcendental knowledge according to such people in this way that they will be free from, and they can. So this is the Samadarshana principles Krishna is revealing to Arjuna. So one has to see that everybody is the part of Supreme Lord. There is no discrimination that, okay, I should suppress, I should, abominable activities, I should do, persecution against this one because he is lower and I am so much higher. No, it's not that the concept. The concept is that everybody is equal in this world. everybody is the Lord. They are all the children of the Lord. They are part and parcel of the Lord. But a devotee who sees that where that be he is a paradukha dukhi. He is always there to uplift the personality to that transcendental consciousness. This is the way that Samadarshana Bhava Krishna is revealing. So this way, Krishna is revealing this, the action in Krishna consciousness, and with culminating with a beautiful, beautiful verse that one who know Bhaktaram Yajnatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Sugurdam Sarva Bhudanam Nyatva Mam Shanti Mruchadi. As Krishna says that in so many ways, Krishna in the 5th chapter, the 25th verse, Krishna says that Bhaktaram Yajnatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Sugurdam Sarva Bhudanam Nyatva Mam Shanti Mruchadi. That's where it is mentioned. A person in full conscious of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attain the peace from the pangs of the material desires. This is the beautiful verse, and Srila Prabhupada also quotes many times that Krishna is revealing himself in such a way that he is the source of everything, and each person is full conscious. This is the culminating that action in Krishna conscious, dear devotees. So who can do that action in Krishna conscious if he is a peaceful? And what does that mean? Shanti means, doesn't mean that, okay, I'm so much joy, I sit somewhere and I don't need anything, I don't need to hear anything. No, it's not that. The peacefulness, the Shanti, the ultimate Shanti Mrichadi ultimately means that one who knows that Krishna is the source of everything, and Krishna is the ultimate beneficiary of each and every living entities, and he is the supreme lord of all planets and the demigods, and the benefactor and the well-wisher of all living entities. So this is what is one has to understand. This is what is the ultimate means and ultimate knowledge, ultimate transcendental knowledge that Krishna is the supreme and there is nothing beyond that. So then one who knows this one, then he will situate properly in Krishna consciousness. This is the way that, dear devotees, we have to cultivate our activities every day. That everything has to be in dovetail. All activities dovetail in connection with the Supreme Lord. Then we can see that when we come to the chapter of Dhyana Yoga. So again, this is also a very beautiful section. And then as it's mentioned that here, the Dhyana Yoga is, how one can reach to the ultimate purpose of devotion. So it's a beautiful section, as we can see that. See, Arjuna is raising this question that, after hearing all this, Arjuna mentioned that it's very difficult to, Krishna, that control our mind and the senses and everything. I can control the wind, but I cannot control the mind. It's very, very difficult. So then Krishna is revealing that is, Arjuna, it's very true that I cannot control the, it's very difficult to control the mind. But you can by the practice. Abhyasa yoga yuktena vairagyena ja vriyate. Abhyasa, by practice, as mentioned that practice makes perfection. So if you don't practice, so that's why, dear devotees, is come to that culmination of this understanding of that action in Krishna consciousness, that understanding Krishna is everything, so that we have to dovetail all our activities. And how to do that? So there is certain ways to do that. That's why in the Dhyana Yoga, Krishna says that. So that is in the Ashtanga Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, there is Yama, Niyama, Pranayama, all is there. So Srila Prabhupada, our Acharyas, reveals, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reveal a wonderful, wonderful process in order to control our mind. That is what it is. That, of course, mantra means in order to overcome the mind. Pranane idi mada ida mantra. To overcome the mind. So we have wonderful process of chanting of the holy name. And how one can chant that holy name when we practice, there is yamas and niyamas, there are rules and do's and the don'ts, right? The don'ts is actually, that's called yamas, and niyamas, what we supposed to do. So we have a very wonderful processes revealed to us, and that's what it is. We have the 4 regulative principles of that, and as it that do not eat meat, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit. These are the don'ts. These are called yamas. So basically, practically, these are the yamas that no, ahimsa, non-violence. In the Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, it is ahimsa, non-violence. That's what it is. No meat eating means that we are not indulged or engaged in any kinds of these sinful activities, ahimsa. So like that, asteyam, and, free from stealing and non-violence and all these, these duplicit activities, that we free from it. That's why intoxication. And then no gambling, is all greed, lust, all these are there. Free from all this. So this way, Krishna is revealing that how we can come to that pure Krishna consciousness. This way, we can come to our ultimate goal of the life, and that is Krishna consciousness. So Krishna gives lots of instructions and the ways that how one can come to and completely meditate upon the Supreme. So, as Krishna says, it's very difficult to overcome. But if the mind is not controlled, that the same mind is our worst enemy, and it leads us to so many destructible activities. As Radhanath Maharaj says, that there are two dogs sitting in our heart. One is a bad dog, and there is a good dog. So what happens when we feed this bad dog? That's the worst enemy. That what happens? Then it becomes more stronger and stronger. Then it's always there to attack the people. So always there to engage into the sinful activities. That's a bad dog. But it's the good dog. If you give the feed, if you feed the good dogs, then the good will come out and it'll be peaceful, and then we can also peaceful in all the situations. Similarly, mind is the worst enemy as well as mind is the best friend if we control that the mind. So in order to control that mind, Krishna is revealing that sort of ways that in this dhyana yoga. And then finally, Krishna says that who is the topmost yogi? Who is the topmost devotee that's situated? As he says that, see, yogi namapi sarveshu madgadendrantmana shraddhavan bhajade yo mam same yukta tamo madaha shraddhavan bhajade. One who has that the faith abides in me, that he is completely in his heart, he abides in me, he is the greatest of all yogis. Even though we do all these Ashtanga yogas, it may be a means good practices that, but in Kali Yuga it is very difficult. But Srila Prabhupada and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all gave us a wonderful process of Krishna consciousness. This way we can control our mind. We chant and practice that every day. And these four regulative principles and dons that we do not drink coffee, do not eat meat, and all these do's and dons and the do's that if we perform, we can completely also come to that the complete yoga, that the ultimate the purpose of the yoga, that to abide Krishna always in the heart. That's why Krishna consciousness means Krishna consciousness, full of Krishna in the consciousness in the heart. This is the topmost yogi. So this way, the Bhagavad Gita, the sixth chapter is concluding, and this way that when from the fourth chapter, the transcendental knowledge, and then the Karma Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness, and then the Dhyana Yoga, the ultimate purpose of the Dhyana Yoga is to have that Krishna consciousness. This is the topmost of all. So these chapters are concluding and culminating like this way. And with that note of that, we should always have understand. We should have proper understanding of that. What is action? What is inaction? How we can perform this inaction in action. So this way, what is karma and what is karma yoga and what is karma kanda? And then all this that when we understand, and that's what is we are trying to explain this in the class today. So when we have this understanding, then what happens? We can situate in that full Krishna consciousness. This way that we free from all sinful reactions, we free from this material bondage, we will ultimately attain the Krishna prema, as it's mentioned that sadhadu shraddha sadhu sangha bhajana kriyanartha nuvurti nishta ruchi bhava prema. We come to that stage, dear devotees, that is the success of, that's the perfection of our life. This is what is Krishna was revealing this to Arjuna through these chapters. With this note, I would end here. I think that it just went over a little bit, 4 minutes. And thank you so much, dear devotees, being there and listening. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So let me stop here. And are there any comments, questions, concerns? Back to you, Krishnamanda Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for covering detailedly, Prabhu. Looks like Amrutam Prabhu has all the question. Go ahead, Amrutam.
Yes, please.
Hare Krishna, SIMHESWAR Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisance. All
My
glories
humble
to
obeisance.
Prabhu.
All glories to Srila.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice class. My question, if you can clarify this doubt.
Yes.
See, all of us are conditioned, Prabhu. Different degrees of conditioning we have, material conditioning.
Yes.
And because of that, we have all these desires for sense gratification. And that's the trigger for all the activities, thoughts, whatever we are doing. Now, we always are looking as what is in it there for me. That's the way our entire system is, how do I say, engineered. What is in it for me? That's what we're all the time chasing. But when we come even to spiritual sanghas, like this one, Krishna consciousness, even there's always some kind of a carrot which is put in front of us, in the sense that, oh, if you do this, there's agyata sukruti, or oh, it's very fortunate, oh, your sins will get washed away. So that thing of how do I say, the benefit, not benefit, the, like how for small children you give them chocolates to do something. That way it is also coming over in the spiritual topic, which in one way is you have to be detached from this. So how would that work, Prabhu? Because you're using that to get people to do spirituality, but then there's a risk that I will be doing it only if I'm getting some kind of a spiritual benefit, and if not, I will leave it. So
Yeah.
how do we figure this out?
Yes, that's true. That's a truth. That's the same reason Krishna is also telling to Arjuna. Arjuna is saying that I cannot control my mind, right? So that is, what does that mean? Control. I cannot control my mind means, my mind is everywhere. It is connecting with my senses. I am going here and there. I can enjoy this one so that I get some benefit. If I get something, I'll do this one. This is the all spectrum of the mind. All the the all complete the world of the mind, right? So Krishna is agreeing with that. Yes, that's true. But Krishna also giving that answer, practice that one. So abhyasa yoga yuktena vairagyena ja briyate. So this way, when we do this one, so like that, sometimes we say that even though we are not there up to it, but if we do this one so that we fake it or make it, right? Fake it, make it for fake it or make it, something like that. So when we continues to do that, we develop some kinds of taste in it, some kinds of understanding in it. This is what is exactly all these processes means for that. That's why Krishna is also mentioning that abhyasa, practice. So when we practice this one slowly, slowly, that we also develop this detachment from this. So yes, initially everybody needs some kinds of, okay, I get this benefit, I get that one, I get this one, so I will do this one. So then what happens? That's why, even though we know that we are not happy to get up in the morning, but when we do it daily, then gradually we develop. So that's why the function of the mind, so practice. So when that's the function of the mind, is that if we keep doing it, so are we tuned to do that? So similarly, it's a gradual process, not that it will happen overnight. So it's a gradual. Somebody takes maybe years, somebody takes maybe entire lifetime, somebody may take even 400 lifetimes. So Arjuna raises this question also in this chapter of Dhyana Yoga. Krishna is saying, Arjuna is asking this question, that Arjuna asks that one who is unsuccessful in a yoga process, so what will happen to him? He completely, kind of left everything. He completely loses everything. No, Krishna says no. Krishna says that yes, then the yogi that who practices this in his lifetime, even though he practices little bit, he takes a birth in his next lifetime in such a way that he goes to that. It depends on his desires that he have left over. He goes to the higher planetary system. He enjoys there. And he comes down again into this aristocratic or the devotees family. And he starts from there. And after many many lifetimes, he comes to this pure consciousness, and he will attain me. So this is the process. This is what is Krishna is revealing to us. And there's a fact that. So even though suppose we don't do anything, okay, even though there is some little, this is called sakama karma, right? Or nishkama karma is not the sagama karma, so that I get some benefit, get some fruitive results. So this is the process. This is there. Everybody knows this. That's why Krishna is giving this all wonderful explanation to Arjuna. So the Krishna's point is that yes, we should continue to do this, even though we chant, even if it is inattentive, namabhas, we continue to chant because of the process as a potency. As Srila Prabhupada says that even though we have impurity, impure, we don't have that, but the process is completely pure. Similarly, the Krishna consciousness, the goal, the means that which we are doing, okay, I chant, even though the means is very pure. So eventually we become pure and come to that our pure nature. So that's why this is it's a process of practice.
Very good. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for a wonderful question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Go ahead.
So maybe this is a dumb question.
No question is dumb at all, Madaji. You are here, you're connecting, you're hearing. How come it can be dumb? There is nothing like that.
No, I mean, there are 4 regulative principles, right, Prabhuji? So no gambling, no cheating. So people, we were instructed in since our childhood that we should not cheat, we should be honest. So, is it cheating mean that okay, we don't do the chanting today, we'll do it tomorrow, we'll make up our chanting rounds next day, today I will enjoy. Does that mean that this could be also be considered as a cheating? or
I mean, yes and no, of course. And as we know that, yes, we promise to take a vow that we chant this many prescribed rounds every day. So now, so we have, I mean, cheating in the sense there's a broader perspective of the cheating. Like just for an example, I got some money and I took that. Okay, oh, I will get some money and I'll give it to you back. Have some problems that this those, and then you are saying that somebody asked for you. It okay, no, I don't. Even though you have it, you don't return. That's kind of a cheating that we can say that. So then when we connect that again to this, our Krishna consciousness, as you chant, your heart is pure, but you have some inconvenience today. So you may have some problems. You may have some kind of, okay, so now you are not chanting today, but so that is real Prabhupada says that okay, now that may some emergency situations like that. Then you say that okay, you chant tomorrow. Whatever you missed today, you have to cover that tomorrow. So that way you are not cheating, but willfully that okay, I committed, so I get some name. I have this japa mala on my neck, and then showing that I'm having, but you don't do anything willfully. This is cheating. Definitely, that is cheating. Cheating to your devotees or the senior devotees or the guru, whoever it is. That's completely cheating propensity. That's called cheating propensity. Everybody has these propensities. Cheating propensity. We have four this disqualifications. We have four problems, right? One is that is called cheating propensity, and then illusion, being illusion in the imperfect senses. All those things are there. So cheating propensity is by default everybody is there in everybody's nature. So yes, that is, we can say that that's a cheating, but you have to also understand that what kind of context you are doing it, right? If I can do chanting today, but no, I can let me go and engage in the sense of sensual activities. So you are actually cheating. So you are now cheating yourself. You are actually cheating yourself. You're cheating yourself, and then you're going away from it. So yes, in one sense that is. But if you have that understanding proper understanding that I should not engage in the I took the vows to chant the holy name, but if you don't fulfill, and then somehow you have to pray to the Lord that please give me that potency, the mercy, so that I can continue. So that's our sincere attempt. So when we have the sincere attempt, sincere prayers that I am unable, I have some incapability, I'm unable to do this one. When you pray to Krishna, oh Lord, please help me, we pray. So in my chanting, so then Krishna would, pardon, and Krishna would give that opportunity to chant every day. So this way, we should put all our efforts to make Krishna consciousness in our life, all our efforts. And then if you take something and talk something and promise something and don't do it willfully, that's cheating. But other than that, there are some inconveniences, some problems, emergencies are there. That's not cheating. That is our incapability of it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thanks for clarifying.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Anything else? Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavata Pranam, all Krishna Prabhupada.
Dandavata Pranam, all Krishna Srila Prabhupada.
Prabhuji, I have a question. Like as you said that we are all connected and we are Krishna's children, and one should work with the work in action with action, because we should do our work as a worship for Krishna by engaging our mind to Krishna. And then when there is you also mentioned about the humility, like being humble within,
yes,
no matter what happens around, and try to and dovetail things around. If you when we can't see things like that, it's in the aligned manner. So for example, if we go to some place and we see people, as you say, that they don't practice Krishna consciousness because they're ignorant, when you see and you feel like, I'm talking about myself, like at first that you see very uncomfortable people doing things, but at the same time with the intellect you differentiate what is right and wrong, because your intelligence is saying that if they are doing something with the Krishna consciousness become different, but now they are not because they don't know. But at the same time, you're also feeling comfortable to go away from their place because it's not helping. But how I can like bring that humility by just looking those people, being humble within and stay there and just look at them. What if like they being chanting here and singing about Krishna? Like how, because I was in that dilemma, like not even dilemma, like kind of like r- leave that place because don't spend time with non-devotees. And but eventually like that's not a humility, right? It's not like being escape from there,
Okay.
being not being humble, but because you can't hate people, because that's not the right way. You just see who they are and then acceptance is there, but there is always one first instinct was there's to leave, and I can't talk right now. Like that's not the good way to see things when they think like that way. So how a person, because I maybe it's a less of spiritual strength I don't have, because I feel that I can deal with it, but at the same time you realize it little later. I do realize it later, but not at the same time. So how should I bring that? Yeah.
So it was a long explanation and the question and sense. And I'm trying to understand that. So you are saying that if you are with the devotees or the non-devotees, that kinds of situation arises. Is it from the non-devotees or is it from the
Non-devotees.
devotees?
Non-devotees.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Okay. So when you are with the non-devotees and you have such situation that you cannot cope up with them, and you come off, you had to go away, and then after realizes that I should not have to done that. That's what is your question?
Yeah, initially that's the instinct comes right away that I should just not be here, that I shouldn't belong here. I'm not like for this place. I should go, and maybe what if they chant? And I start like thinking that way. Mind says.
Okay, so you are saying that, okay, so if I go them and associate with them so that they can eventually develop this Krishna consciousness, they may pick up the beats and start to chant, but certain things happens to me or happen, they're talking, so I cannot cope up with them and I go away. I mean, is that the question?
Yeah, the first thing is like I start feeling I shouldn't be here. I just go
Yeah,
and
yeah. Okay. Okay,
maybe.
wonderful, wonderful question. So we have to always look for in such situations like our Acharyas Mataji, how they tolerated the situations. We know that when Srila Prabhupada came to this country, he was alone. He was staying with a person called what is his name? In a Pennsylvania, but
Gopal Agarwal. Gopal
Gopal,
Agarwal.
exactly. Staying there, and they have a fridge, and they have meat, they have everything kept, and they are completely the drinking in the courtyard in the backside. Srila Prabhupada was there, and Srila Prabhupada was also keep the same, the vegetables or whatever is on the other column of the fridge. So Srila Prabhupada tolerated the situation so that he knows that, as many times Srila Prabhupada says that I didn't come here to eat, but to give association to Krishna. So, but not to take association. So we have to draw a line here. We have to also, in such situation that even though we go out, we meet people, as we may have some friends and likes that. But yes, I mean, we does not take this as sanghas, as mentioned, that as sangha tyaga. That means we don't want in unwanted association or the material association. But at the same time, we also preaching movement. Srila Prabhupada was very well situated in Vrindavan. He thinks that, okay, I don't need to go to the Western world. All these are, this non-devotees or materially attached people. Then how we would get this chance and opportunities? So this is where we have to draw a line that, okay, how much I can give. Yes, there are situations we should give association such a way that so that we can have some, okay, they can take the pick up the Krishna conscious some way or other. In that sense, there is no force or anything like that, but our behavior, our character. So that's the most important. We are the preaching movement means not that all the time we have to speak. Preaching movement means our behavior and the character and the way that we deal with our attitude. So if we see some problems in somebody's house or something like that, we help them so that they see that our godly qualities or the divine qualities or Krishna conscious qualities. This way, they see that, okay, this person has some unique qualities. What is that secret? What is that for? Because of they have Krishna in their life, they have Lord in their life, so they practice that. So they have divine qualities. So let me also follow that one. So this way, by our activities, by our nature, by our behavior, by our attitude, and all this way that people appreciate. So this is the way that we have to deal with. So at the same time, we may come with some certain, many times people go for book distribution, many times people abuse people. Sometimes, people, put them in the jail, Russia and all, many devotees put them in the jail. And so many. But what they retaliated or nothing. They just prayed to the Lord. They tolerated it, and also they take each and every opportunity to have that the consciousness. Of course, that we have to practice when we chant the holy name. We have to develop the first and the foremost quality of that humility. Without humility, without our arrogance or our ego or our selfish nature and the fame, all those things are our subtle form of, that means our selfishness. That means Krishna is not there, but I am there. So if we do anything like that, then what happens? Eventually we fed up with it and we come, because I'm not getting anything. But we are selfless, and we are in the the volunteers of the warriors of Krishna and Srila Prabhupada. Our duty, our purpose is to serve Krishna and his devotees, and then we have that mentality, that consciousness. Then what happens? We develop that quality, and certain situations comes, we can understand that why they are doing that, what situation they are going through, so that this way we help them, and as much as possible. Yes, I mean, it says that Srila Prabhupada says there are two ways that people goes away, and two ways that one is actually is 50% of is our problem, and 50% of is their problem, right? So we have to see that what is our 50% is the problem, that we cannot preach, we cannot talk, we cannot get along with the people. And yes, 50% is their problem. Yes, then we have to correct. So first we have to correct ourselves. This way that we can continue, and as much as possible. Yes, I mean, every material world, Kali Yuga, every situation is not appropriate to 100%, likes that. Yes, if you are not able to do anything, and if you are there is, it is, that's where we have to think. If any association with impact our Krishna consciousness, then we have to stay away from them. If anything that which it doesn't impact our Krishna consciousness and we are able to preach, then we do it. Otherwise, if anything that which impacts our Krishna consciousness, our path of devotion, then we should stay away from it, because of, first of all, I have to be Krishna conscious in order to make others Krishna conscious, isn't it? So that way we can control that, Mataji. My understanding is that.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much. In fact, I've been listening many lectures recently from all the devotees, senior devotees, and it was very empowering. That's what you said. You just nullify what your doubts are and all. But I also feel like when we have a real life scenarios, when the devotees goes in, like we have problems as we ask questions, is there any way that we can have any lectures based on like the situations we are in, and then how to deal with it? Because we know kind of a philosophy which is important to discuss and to understand, but in this world where we have situations in all different kind of situation, and every day is different. So how can we like discuss those kind of like lectures where we have only the questions where we deal, and now we don't know how to we have it and now we don't know how to deal with it? So that will be also very helpful, because sometimes philosophy is important, but sometimes we don't know how to imply this philosophy, because it's a lot of philosophy. And it is good to know, but it's as we hear so much of information, and how to implement those information into our life situation. So is there any way that we can have those kind of
Yes, it's very true. Very true, Madaji. It's our yes, there are a lot of philosophies, a lot of scriptures, a lot of understanding, a lot of knowledge, a lot of ways that that's why we have different yogas, different processes, different methods, and so many things. That's why we have a very beautiful organization. Then Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada took this, so that he composed everything, he compiled everything together. So like Srila Vyasa, they compiled this Vedas. It was so vast. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada composed and compiled all these various philosophies, everything together in a very simple form, right? Very simple form. And as it says that, so we have a process in place. If we strictly follow that, Srila Prabhupada says that you Don't need to worry too much about, so much of this and that, those things. So we have chant the holy name. It's very simple process. Eat Krishna Prasadam, engage yourself in the service of the Lord, free from all these, the do's and the don'ts, like, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex, no meat eating, no cheating, and all these things, and no knockoff. So if we strictly follow that word and we chant the holy name strictly, so the spiritual potency that we get the mercy and the spiritual potency to overcome all the situations. So we don't need to so much. Let's say some people read so many that book, this book, this book. When we have Srila Prabhupada so wonderfully, so Srila Prabhupada's one book is actually for the beginners, chant and be happy. So why Srila Prabhupada said that, if you are going through trouble and all those things, but we are not chanting properly. We are not doing things properly. We are not taking our spiritual master's word properly. We are not putting ourselves in serious mode of that one. So as in any conditions, we have that the faith in Krishna. That's where all that we have faith in Krishna. So this is very simple. It's very, it's composed in such a way that all we need to do, just follow the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. Just follow the instructions of spiritual master, the devotees, your Shiksha Guru, whoever is there. Not too much of the mental concoctions. Our problem is that we too much in our mental concoctions. We think that way, this way I can. No. No. Such way we have a Guru. He is an external manifestation of the Lord. And we have Chaitya Guru. He is the internal manifestation of the Lord. So Gurus are there. The devotees are out there. So we don't need to so much, if you have some troubles, you have some situations overcome, just talk to the devotees or the Guru, or, listen to that Guru's lecture or something like that. This way we get the strength and the mercy so that we can overcome certain situations like that. So it's not that, you should learn, you don't need to, go to all the Vedas. Okay. Sometimes says that, okay, the understanding the Veda is the ultimate purpose. But can we go and read all the Vedas now and understand and come to that consciousness and all? No. In the form of that Veda, Guru appeared. The form of the Lord, the Guru and the devotees appeared. So they very simply said, do this. The devotees, this is the essence of all the scriptures. Vedascha sarvam ahameva vedya, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita 15th chapter. Vedascha sarvam ahameva vedya. And Brahma said that, he says that Sadurlabham Atma Bhaktu, right? Those who are Veda, they cannot understand me, but Sudurlabham Atma Bhaktu, but my devotees can realize me and understand that. So first and the foremost things, Madaji, that instead of all this, just focus and dedicate ourselves that what my Guru, what my spiritual, what my Shiksha Guru, what Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada put in a proper, very wonderful format. Chant 16 rounds every day. Free from all this, the intoxication, gambling, meat eating, and illicit sex, and all this, no coffee, no drink, all those things. First, when we fulfill that every day without any fail and surrender the Krishna with that, all your activities, everything that for the service of Krishna, then everything, as Krishna says, that other Sri Krishna Namadina Bhavedna Indriya Sevon Mukohi Jikvadi Seva. Soyameva Spurdi. He will give the intelligence. Tesham Satati Yuktanam Bhajadam Priti Purvagam Dadami Buddhi Yogandamyena. He will give that intelligence. He can easily overcome that. So we have to do that. So this is the core principles that we have to follow. And the Acharya Srila Prabhupada revealed to us that what we're supposed to do. It's very simple. And if you take that, a book, Chant and Be Happy, if you read that book, you get all the answers that you have. All we need to do is just follow that. And there is also another book called Perfect Question and Perfect Answer. You can also refer that one. And also you can start to read the science syllabus, Science of Self-Realization, how we can situate in that self such a way that you'll be always in that pure consciousness of Krishna. So this way, instead of reading so many philosophy that Srila Prabhupada brought to us, very, composed in such a way that summarized everything in such a beautiful form, chant and be happy. And this is the great Be Krishna conscious. And yes, if you want it further, you can check with your spiritual master, or, whom you are, your spiritual Shiksha Guru, or, like that. So you should always have, when you have connection with the devotees, you have that Guru, Shiksha Guru and Guru concepts you have, then half of our, the problems, and then we are going through our weakness, everything, Hridaya Daurbalya, that the weakness of the heart is everything is, goes away that way. So this way we can also situate in very well situate in
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. Anything else? Yes. Any other comments? Okay. Back to you, Krishnamanda Prabhu. Thank you so much, dear devotees, being there. Thank you, Krishnamanda Prabhu, for this opportunity. Hare Krishna. Krishnamanda Prabhu, are you there?
Sorry, I was speaking on mute. Okay, thank you very much. So please join for Sunday Peace program evening. Gita Jayanti celebrate extended. And book distribution is continued. Marathon is continued till December 31st or January 2nd or 3rd. Take the books and distribute more and more widely as you might be meeting friends and neighbors. Upcoming festival is December 18th, Wednesday, Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur Goswami Prabhupada's Tirubhav, important day, fasting till noon. December 31st is Lochan Das Thakur's disappearance day, also the New Year Eve program in the evening at our temple. Then New Year Day, January 1st. Chant as many rounds as possible, any day, for that day especially also, so that whole year we can become Krishna conscious more. Then January 6th or 9th is also important Ekadasi, which is Putrada Ekadasi, January 9th, Thursday. Is Putrada Ekadasi, is also called Mukkoti Ekadasi, also called Vaikuntha Ekadasi. These two Ekadasi always remember. December Mokshada Ekadasi, Gita Jayanti Ekadasi, and end of January beginning, another Ekadasi comes. These two Ekadasi are very prominent Ekadasis, which we can utilize and increase our Krishna conscious activities. And January 14th is Makara Sankranti coming up. So those are the upcoming days and events, important days to note. So January 2nd is also Jiva Goswami disappearance day, which is Thursday, January 2nd. Okay, with that, I'll conclude. Thank you very much. Yeah, Gita is for everybody, which means those who are desiring, not desiring. So definitely Lord has to give different benefits to everybody, at least all the way to the perfectionist, like Prahlad Maharaj is not looking for anything. Even when Narsingadev appeared, he's not asking for anything. Are we on that level? No. So that's why these answers of Bhagavad Gita is for everybody. So don't look at one angle, you look at in different angles and understand it. So that way we can realize and attain perfection. That's it. वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यो च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। वैष्णव की जय, गोपाल की जय।
Hey, Jai. Guru Prema.
See you all in the evening. Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol.